Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is happening, my friends? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it is politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. On today's conversation, what do we have here? A popular fitness instructor turned, I guess, political commentator, because everybody in America thinks they can become a political commentator. That's like the new avenue of building a brand and where the money is at. So she tries to explain slavery to a black person on a black show. Interesting how the world is going. Yeah, I know. In addition to that, look, conservatives are against the wall. They are cornered, can never has an answer when pressed on a question. And I have a couple of clips to share when conservative commentators and conservative hosts, when they're asked a question, they have no answer. All they do is just, we're going to end this conversation now. We're going to end this interview. It's over. Bye. Get out of here. Running away from a fight because they know that they're cornered. There is no answers anymore. We have that and so much more to discuss here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, my friends, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune in to yet another great episode here. So many ways you can support and tune into the program. First thing I want to mention, for those who happen to be streaming us on YouTube, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family, share with everyone in the masses. We want to continue to push the narrative of our program, and we want to continue just to spread great conversation. That's what we're missing, y'all, is conversation. We continue to it's shouting matches galore, but if you actually sit down, listen, regardless of your political views, you can actually learn something. So that's what we love to do here on the show. Yes, I might sound like I'm pressing and being a bit aggressive towards political parties, because at the end of the day, I could care less on both sides. I'm not a fan of the two-party system, and the sad thing is most Americans are not fans yet when it comes to voting day. When it comes to voting day, you still lean on this side or that side. So again, it's just it's iffy. Now, I'm not saying there's not good people that might be Republicans. I'm not saying there's not good people that might be Democrats. There's great people that actually want to do what's right for their constituents, but the system, the game, the whole entire political agenda to the on the elites, it's different. They're like, this and that, you can't do that, you can't do that, and it's just it's not what Americans want. So we gonna talk it up here on the Arrington Gavin Show. In addition to our YouTube channel, which is the Arrington Gavin Show YouTube channel, by the way, so please subscribe, like, all that good stuff. You can also stream us on Goatverse TV. That is Goatverse TV. You can download the app. It's free. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. Let's see here. In addition to those platforms, you can also listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on all major podcast platforms, and we're also available on the radio airwaves. We are honored to have 2 radio affiliates. As of right now, we are growing, as I mentioned, but we want to shout out our radio affiliates. The WBOK in New Orleans, WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time, only on, again, WBOK. And then we're going to move it on to the Metro Atlanta region, WDJY 99.1 FM, Straight Talk. That's right, WDJY 99.1 FM straight talk. You can tune to the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights, Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on WDJY 99.1 FM. So WBOK, support. It's one of the oldest and longest running black talk radio stations, black owned talk radio stations in the country. And I'm so honored to be a part of WBOK. There's so many amazing programs from myself, even the Tavis Smiley Show. You can tune into that. The Front Porch. There's so many reality check. There's so many great programs on WBOK. So please support, family. So much stuff to discuss. Let me see. It's so I've had a day. Let me just tell you for one, because I have my in-laws visiting, gonna be visiting later during the weekend. I'm so excited. I mean, I'm through it. I'm an individual, and that's what I'm very blessed. Not only do I have a smoking hot wife, who I love, who's my best friend, but also I have amazing in-laws who I love very much. And so they're gonna be coming down, visiting, and staying and just having a good time, just just for a few days. And so, but being that they're coming, this is their first time staying with us, and we want to make sure the house is all taken care of and things like that. So we just been busy doing that, busy, of course, working in general, but making sure the house is fixed up. And I was doing some yard work earlier today. It was hot outside, by the way, very hot, but I was doing some yard work. And then later on in the day, I had opportunity to MC a campaign kickoff. Yes, Arrington moving up in the world. Yes, I am. Yeah, I've spoken at elected officials campaigns before. I've spoken on those on the right and those on the left. Again, I am a nonpartisan individual. I'm an independent individual, so I'm a proponent for candidates that in my opinion, that will be very beneficial, that it really means well, regardless of their political belief system. So I had the opportunity of emceeing a good buddy of mine's who's running for a state house seat, and it was awesome. It was awesome. It was a little toasty outside, but we still made it happen, and had a great turnout. And questions were asked. So we did like a little Q&A section. A Q&A session at the end, which is important. I highly recommend all folks that are interested of what's happening in their local communities, because I know some of your officials might put on some town halls. Some officials do so. There's some of them that don't do anything and no engagement with their constituents, which is sickening, because it's like, okay, the only time you hear from them is when it's time for reelection. I mean, that's a common thing that occurs, regardless of which position they're serving, whether if it's local, state, or federal level. And that's insulting, in my opinion, to voters and residents within their communities, because it's just like saying, they ain't gonna pay attention, they ain't gonna know anything. Just keep me in this role. That's all that matters. Whatever. And that's not the case. That shouldn't be the case. You gotta pressure elected officials, hold them accountable, especially when it comes to election season, because this is election season happening in a lot of states. It's midterms, so there are big elections that are coming up. Before we move forward to a commercial break, I want to share our fun fact of the day here. So on today's fun fact, did you all know that gospel icon Kurt Franklin, revolutionized contemporary gospel? How, you might ask? Well, with his hits like Stomp, he mixed hip hop and R&B into gospel, helping the genre reach younger generations and wider audience. He is, I believe, in his 50s now, still doing that till this day, and it's awesome. And in my opinion, the gospel music genre would not they should be honored to have an individual like Kurt Franklin, someone who can push the message to a more broader audience, even more of a secular audience, because you had a lot of secular artists that worked with Kurt Franklin, that look at him as a mentor, that admires his work. He's worked with Bono, he's worked with Mary J. Blige, he's worked with, oh Lord, he's worked with Kanye West. I mean, as interesting as he is, he's worked with so many individuals. I know I'm losing track. It's a long list of folks, but Glorilla. He just did a song with Glorilla. In my opinion, his BET performance recent in the last BET awards was the best performance I have seen at the BT was in quite a long time. I mean, just it was dope. It was dope. And he still, he had to go through a lot because the traditional contemporary gospel was so strict and conservative. And oh my gosh, how can you wear those clothes? Ooh, what is that sound I hear? No, he changed the status quo. And rather than bashing him, what he did was continue to broaden gospel music to, like they said, a larger audience, and not just a larger audience, but a younger audience. I bring this up because in politics, I feel as though that the parties are doing well. The parties are not doing their part into really engaging with young people. Now, I can sort of commend the right, because the right does have a large young base, but it's the base is very specific. But Turning Point was created and founded by Charlie Kirk, far right conservative talk show host. It was for collegiate students. But if you look at, is it a diversity group of students? In my opinion, no. But they have, there's snippets of, diversity in there. Now on the left, now you might have some young folks that work with campaigns and any other, but they don't allow them to grow, shine. Let them pursue office. How many times have I told y'all term limits are important? You cannot be in the seat forever. You can't. You just can't. Why do you have to stay at the top? Why do you have to continue to seat? Why can't you shift with the next up and coming folks? Why? I don't understand. But we will never. We have our theories, but we will never really know. All right, my friends. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're going to bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
Right, my friends, welcome back. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. So, first up on our headline, you won't believe this. Popular whiskey brand hit with $100 million lawsuit for allegedly not paying back its loans. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Business 101, life 101. Whenever you take a loan, guess what? It's a loan for a reason. You got to pay them back. You can't avoid that. You can't avoid not paying the loan. I mean, where do people go thinking that they can just get away with it and all is well? No. So I'm sad because the popular whiskey brand happens to be a whiskey that I highly support and endorse. I love it. I have a large collection of it. It's Uncle Nearest Whiskey. Uncle Nearest Whiskey is a black-owned whiskey company, whiskey brand with an amazing story, amazing staff. Okay, I mean it's led predominantly by women, and it's an awesome story. So just a little bit. Uncle Nearest Whiskey is rooted in the historic friendship between Jack Daniels and Nathan Green, dating back 150 years in Tennessee. Now, Nearest Green is where you get the name Uncle Nearest. Was Jack Daniels' only black distiller. He actually taught Jack Daniels how to be a distill, how to be a distiller in whiskey. So obviously, we know if you look at the expectancy on both, Jack Daniels was a lot older than Uncle Nearest. So when you first heard the story, you're like, oh snap! And then the momentum just went up. It just skyrocketed for Uncle Nearest. They've won numerous awards, well deserved, and so much more success. But let me read you this article reported by the Independent. As I mentioned, the whiskey brand was slapped with a $100 million lawsuit for allegedly not paying back its loans, according to court documents. Nearest Green Distillery, a black-owned business in Tennessee that sells Uncle Nearest premium whiskey across the nation, from anywhere between $50 to over $100 per bottle, has been accused of breaching loan agreements with their lender, according to the suit obtained by WSMV. Now, the Farm Credit Mid-America, which is based in Louisville, accuses the company's founders, Fawn Weaver, and husband, Keith Weaver, of defaulting on multiple loans, refusing to hand over adequate information, failing to pay principal and interest payments, using proceeds of a loan to purchase a $2 million Martha's Vineyard home, with mortgaging the property to another lender. Now, these are accusations. They're being accused. Doesn't mean they're found guilty. And I'm saying this because it's just, and Chris Rock made a joke about this. Black people, we can never have nothing. It's always something when it comes to opening a business or this and that. Like, why does this have to happen? Uncle Nearest is one of the most popular, growing black-owned businesses in the world. Okay, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And I don't want to be mad. I don't want to fault the founders, but if this is true, shame on you guys. Shame on you guys. This is business. Why are you not paying back loans that you've received instead of spending it on personal items for your own pleasures? Like, come on. But I will say this. When you see this is just my theory. When you see black businesses that are thriving, making a lot of money, and that are really defeating competitors, I'll leave it at there. Come on, we weren't born yesterday. We were not born yesterday, y'all. Why? You know what? Why? What is this? Is this some form? I'm using the Trump's word. Is this some form of a witch hunt? Is that what it is? Okay, when somebody hits the tops, there's somebody that got to bring you down. There's somebody that got to bring you down. The Weavers were sued in federal court. According to the court documents, Farm Credit alleges a myriad of other wrongdoings and is demanding a repayment that includes accrued interest on loans amounting to, check this out, to be exact, I'm going to give you the exact number, so bear with me here, $101,245,828.22. I tell you, the loans company says that Nearest Green Distiller has been in default under the loan since as early as January of 2024 and January 2nd of 2024, and has continued to incur further defaults over the last 18 months, according to court documents. The most recent default came as revolting loan was not paid in full by the time it matured and end of last month. Now, furthermore, Nearest Green alleges the lawsuit allegations are untrue. And I'm still a fan, so I'm praying, I'm hoping that this is untrue. You just never know. But again, I gave you my two theories on this. I gave my two devil's advocate. When a black owned business becomes one of the most award winning type, especially in the world of liquor and spirits and whiskey. Come on now. How many black owned whiskey companies do you know that is thriving the way Uncle Nearest is? I'll wait. I'll wait. Zero. So they're based out of Tennessee. This credit company is based out of Louisville. I'm just saying, y'all. Come on. Stick with us. Weaver herself has also confronted the suit online on social media videos, saying Uncle Nearest is stronger than ever. Nearest Green rose to $1 billion in valuation after its creation in 2019. Look at the span. Do you see how successful this is? 2019. So Uncle Nearest is what? Maybe 5 years? 5 years old? What is this? We're in 2025 right now. So 2019, 2020. So close to about 7 years, close to 7 years. The lawsuit is likely to be setback for the unicorn startup, a moniker for a startup valued at over $1 billion, which is privately owned and not listed on a stock market. It's interesting. It's interesting, y'all. Read up on this. Read up on this. And just again to go back on the story of it. So in the 1800s, an unlikely friendship was formed between a young Jack Daniels and a young slave, Nearest Green. The slave was named Nathan Green. He was known as commonly as Nearest. Daniel had been orphaned at 16 and was forced to work as a chore boy for a distillery owner and preacher in his hometown of Lynchburg, Tennessee, named Dan Call. Call had enslaved Green around the same period. It was during those years that Nearest became Daniel's mentor and teacher, showing him the grueling process of charcoaling, mellowing, the signature of all Tennessee whiskey, which became the process for brewing the famous Jack Daniels product. So right then and there, it gives you a preference of this, how rich the story is and why it's so popular. So my friends, I hope this is not true. I hope this will come to an end very soon. I hope. Yes, I don't want to see any harm happen to this company, because it is a thriving and growing and amazing. Damn, it's a good whiskey. I love it. I'll shoot. I might partake myself right about that. No, I'm joking. But it's really good. It is really good, y'all. Let's move it on to our move it on. We got here. Let's see what we have up here. So check this out, y'all. Jimmy Fallon's show. So the recent episode that he had where he brought on Greg Gutfeld of Fox News. Greg Gutfeld is a co-host of Fox News' popular show The Five, as well as he hosts his own late night show called Gutfeld. He's on two times a day, and they're saying it would already kind of made headline because Gutfeld, who is so conservative, and it's Fox News, and you go to NBC, very liberal, Jimmy Fallon, very liberal. Why is Gutfeld going on Jimmy's show as a guest? So first and foremost, Gutfeld has a new game show on Fox's streaming platform, Fox Nation. He was going in there to promote the show. Now they were saying too, and I'm just saying the public was assuming that, okay, Stephen Colbert on CBS show is getting canceled, right? The whole entire show, late night show, is getting let go. Trump has been taunting with all of these prominent voices on cable news, saying, "Oh yeah, they're gone. They're on this," and folks are saying, "Hey, look, companies have bent the knee to this administration, and who's next on the chopping block, right?" So now you see somebody like a Jimmy Fallon to them saying, "Oh, he's a traitor. He's kissed the ring now because he allowed Gutfeld on." In my opinion, I didn't see an issue with it. Was it an interesting conversation to discuss? Absolutely, because it could it have been, yeah, Jimmy's trying to protect his job. Okay, he's trying to get on the president's good side, which Jimmy has never been like a full critic of Trump. Yes, he jokes about him from time to time, but he's not as full critic as Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel. That I will say. Jimmy Fallon's always been a respectful person to all folks. Gunfeld, I can't really say the same. Now, what I enjoyed was seeing two guys, opposite viewpoints, opposite opinions, talking about their platform, what they got going on, and just giving you entertainment. Late night shows are not supposed to be political. I'm sorry, they're not. Do I say this all the time. Politics. Check. Oh, sorry. Mike had a mic issue there. Politics, you can't run away from politics. You just can't. Politics is everywhere. Regardless if you're in sports, politics is going to be there. If you're in school, politics is going to be there. If you're in the workforce, regardless of your politics is there. Going to the grocery store, if you're a taxpayer, politics is there. Politics is everywhere. So you can't run away from politics. But you should provide opportunities where people can take a breather from it. I'm a big proponent of that. And I even have, it's interesting because I have a lot of liberal, and I'm fascinated with politics, so I kind of tune into politics on the regular. But I have friends that are liberals that they don't like when, whether it's a comedian or certain late night shows get too political, because they don't. It's a turn off for them. And I've even shared a clip where Jay Leno, a late night icon, well respected as well, says you can't entertain one side. It's if you have two sides, why would you entertain one and not both sides? Okay, you're not going to become successful like that. You might be successful strictly with this group, but you can't expect to have, if you want to have a successful run, it's not going to be successful. And guess what? It wasn't for Stephen Colbert. I enjoy Stephen Colbert, but apparently the past year or two they have lost a lot of money, and it hey, it showed. So I bring this up because apparently the episode when he brought in Greg Gutfeld attracted 1.7 million viewers, marking its most watched regular broadcast since, check this out, December 19th of 2023. So what does that say, y'all? Now, was that because, Gunfeld brought in his fan base, the far conservatives, the far right conservatives, and would tune in? That was that the reason why that shot up, or was this what most folks wanted to see? Was this something that folks said, okay, I think we're getting somewhat back to normal, at least on our television screens, because you're starting to have put the political opinions aside, and we're back to, at least for NBC, we're back to entertainment. We're back to, that's all it is now. When you go turn on your TV for the next day and you go back to Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, those are your news show. News Nation, those are your news platforms. They're going to talk about the news. Now, NBC does have news platforms. They have, you have your local affiliate news. You have your Today Show. You have NBC Nightly News. You have those platforms, but there should be a balance, right? So the question is, would Jimmy continue on doing a conversation like this? Will he bring on folks that has not been, I guess, a part of the liberal fan base? Is he gonna invite John Voight, actor John Voight, who's a strong Trump supporter? Is he gonna bring Sylvester Stallone back? Right? Is he gonna bring who else can I think of? Is he gonna bring Dean Cain? Right? Is he gonna bring a lot of the Hollywood public figures that has supported Donald Trump, or that has been more on the conservative side? Will we start seeing more of that? We will see. Will we see? Is he gonna bring Ben Shapiro? It will be interesting. It will be interesting. All right, y'all. speaking of, conservatives and politics and all that good stuff, I want to bring up a couple of clips for you all, because one thing that I'm starting to notice is conservatives are avoiding being pressured. They're avoiding tough questions. And one thing I can't stand are people that skip around and don't give you a full answer. Now, to me, it's like, okay, if you don't have an answer for it, then you don't have an answer for it. I'll be I'll I'll give you more respect if you do that, rather than just saying, well, there we go again. Why are we talking about this? Let's talk about this instead. Let's talk about, like, no, stop skipping. I've already shared sound bites of the horrific interview between Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears when she had on CNN, because she's running in the state of Virginia to become the first female and first black female elected governor for the state of Virginia. But there's been countless of other interviews, not just for Winston, but for other folks. Mehdi Hasan. Mehdi Hasan is a progressive journalist who was on what was he on? He was on MSNBC for quite some time. He ended up leaving them because he was a strong critic of Donald Trump. Network television never liked that. So what he did, he's like, okay, that's cool. He ended up starting his own news platform called Zeteo News, which is growing. It speaks highly on that progressive left. And he was on News Nation. He was on Leland Vitter's show called Unbalance. Okay, Unbalance, which is interesting because it's very, like, I wouldn't even consider it balanced. Let me see if I can find it here. Hold on tight, my friends. Let's see here. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So recently he was on Leland Vitter's show Unbalanced, and they were discussing what's happening in Washington of Trump's crackdown on crime, the strategy he's doing it by bringing in the National Guard. Now, excuse me, this is how was a counter that Mehdi Hasan gave to Leland Vitter, and Leland Vitter didn't like that. So let me go ahead and play that for you guys.
It's because Trump cares about crime in D.C., really? Because I remember Donald Trump on January the 6th, 2021, not giving
Mehdi, oh, come on. Now
sorry,
verb
Leland,
January 6th. Okay,
sorry,
Mehdi, no, Mehdi, come on.
Let me finish my point. This is a short segment.
I know. I know you said that. 150 police officers got hurt.
Speak. Hold on. You gave Bill O'Reilly a lot of time. Let me give an answer. I'm here for much shorter time. Let me speak. On January 6, 2021, you may want to move on for it. We all watched police officers in D.C. being attacked by a Trump-supporting mob, 150 injured, 600 people
Mehdi, you're going to sit here. We know the statistics of January 6th. Mehdi, you're going to sit here. Mehdi, you're going to sit here. Mehdi, you're going to sit here and say if Trump cures cancer, then January 6th was terrible. Okay, the fact of the matter is you can't have an argument. You can't have an argument about what's happening on the streets of D.C. without going back to January 6th.
Because it's about
you won't talk about actually the crime.
Donald Trump, Leland. But Leland's
no, it's not. It's about how to have people be safe.
I said to you, Donald Trump doesn't care about crime in D.C. You said, yes, he does. And I said, I'm going to give you evidence to prove he doesn't. If he cared about crime in D.C., why did he pardon 600 people who assaulted police officers? You can't come and make this emotional
claim. Oh, come on, Mehdi. You can't. You're talking about completely different things.
You actually care about crime, then.
You cannot talk about this. There's completely different things going on.
Why?
What do you mean I care about crime or I don't?
Where was the National Guard? Where was the National Guard on January 6th, 2021
come on. You can't do no. This is silly.
Day.
This is absolutely silly, Mehdi. You can't do this.
Why?
No, because it has nothing to do with what's happening or what the arguments are right now. Okay, and you can't. No, it has nothing to do with it.
Crime matters in D.C. The victims of crime matter in D.C. What about the cops in D.C.?
And I'm the only person who died on January 6th was a Trump supporter, and you can't talk about what's happening on the streets right now.
Let me know when you want me to speak.
No, you can't talk about any. You cannot talk about this without talking about January 6th or anything else. You won't have an argument on the merits. Mehdi, thank you as always.
I mean, whoa-wee, I tell you, that was a spicy interview, wasn't it? That was spicy back and forth. But Mehdi is right. Now I don't agree with Mehdi on everything. But one thing I'll give him credit, he's a great debater, but he brought a fair argument. Leland said that Donald Trump cares about crime. that he cares about these crimes. Mehdi Hassan said if he would care, why didn't he pardon 1,500 folks that stormed the Capitol, damaged property, harmed law enforcement, injured law enforcement? Leland's like, hey, only one person died, and that was a Trump supporter. Once again, Leland harming and fearing folks like, and that's the funny thing, because you know who also can't answer that? Janine Shapiro. Janine Shapiro has a position now working in the government as an attorney, which is again another hot mess. I mean, here's the thing: this administration has only brought in folks that are yes people and that will only follow and listen to whatever Trump tells them to do. They have no backbone whatsoever. They do not back talk. Daddy is what they call them. All they are just minions that will do whatever their fearless leader tells them to do. But I go back to Mehdi Hassan. It is a great art. And look, I like Leland. I watch the show, right? I watch News Nation pretty regularly. There's moments where Leland is very fair. He's initially he was a Fox News guy. I think he was in Fox News for well over 10 years, and then he came on to News Nation. Leland cannot try to, you can't cancel some, or not cancel, you can't just end someone's conversation when he brings up a good argument. And look, it happened in 2021, but it was under the administration of the person who's in office right now. And the argument is, okay, does Trump care about DC crime? Because here's the thing, it's very political what he's doing right now. He's only targeting blue cities, blue states, and states that are led by African American mayors. So, in my opinion, if you want to secure these communities like this, look, I'm all for making a city, or doing all you can to keep a city safe. I'm all for that. My issue is just the strategy and the way you're doing it. That's my issue. I know the argument has come up is, should he bring in the National Guard, or should he just rely on law enforcement? Law enforcement in every single city will always be outnumbered by residents, right? They're never going to be more officers in an area than it is people that live in a community. That's never going to happen. That's just been my honest opinion. Bringing in the National Guard is an interesting strategy, because you're like, okay, should they be more on protecting the country from outside enemies than protecting it from issues happening on the local levels? Because then, if that's the case, what's the point of having local law enforcement? It's a great conversation to have, but Mehdi had Leland against the fence. Now, this is just, I wasn't really here talking about just the whole Mehdi and Leland back and forth. The conversation is conservatives not having an answer when being pressed. So another interview I want to bring you on. So state house rep out of Texas. I'm blanking on his name to save my life, but I spoke about him not too long ago because he was on Joe Rogan's show, and Joe Rogan loved what he was hearing. This is a Democrat out of Texas, state house representative, and he was like, "Bro, you need to run for president." Now, this is Joe Rogan, the same guy that endorsed Donald Trump, same guy that had Donald Trump speak on his show for like damn near 3 hours. And now he's all of a sudden feeling the views from this guy who is really no one is familiar with who he is. And well, now they do, but he was an unknown guy prior than when he was on like Joe Rogan and other platforms. This gentleman was on this state house rep, and if I can find his name to save my life, give me 1 second here. Let's see. I'm gonna try and find his name before I bring up this next clip. Okay, his name is James Tallarico. So let me go. James Tallarico was on Will Cain's show on Fox News. Will Cain's show is based out of, I think, Texas, Dallas, Texas, preferably, but based out of Texas. And so let me go ahead and share this soundbite that they had this interaction. And once again, it's just the same old. When the right is pressed in their corner, what's their response? So check this interaction between Will Kane and Texas state delegate James Tallarico.
In my view, Representative, you gave the ball game analogy. In my view, what has happened here is you've done something in certain states and you don't like it when it's done in Republican states. And now you're saying you've done the same thing as us. You've done the same thing as us, and we are going to, by the way, if you do it, we're going to ratchet it up even more, in the words of Gavin Newsom.
My party has never gerrymandered in the middle of the decade at the request of the president of the United States, nor would we. The only way this is going to happen in blue states is if Texas executes this power grab. You mentioned Massachusetts. Right. Do you know the party of the governor that signed that map into law? He was a Republican. It was a Republican governor that signed that map into law. So I just want to be clear with our facts, and I don't want to muddy the waters. All of us, whether we're Democrats, independents, or Republicans, we should stand up to politicians who don't want to face accountability at the ballot box. That's exactly what's happening here. And I asked you, if Republican policies are popular, why do they need to redraw these maps? Why can't they just run on their policies?
I'm getting wrapped on time. I'm enjoying this conversation. I want to let it go on, and I apologize. That's such is the nature of cable television.
I mean, come on, y'all. Come on. He tried. Hold on, me. He tried to cut it. He tried to. Oh, they're telling me I got to wrap it up, but I really am enjoying this conversation. Will, look like you were hurting. That's why they wrapped it up. Your staff threw in the towel because Delegate asked the perfect question there. If everything is being run perfectly the way it is, and it's predominantly led, I mean, it's a red state. Texas is a red state. Why gerrymandering? Why use this now? What's the issue with that? He could not answer it. Again, when you bring facts to Fox News, guess what their answer is? Oh, let's go to a commercial break. Let's go to commercial. They flee. They always do that. There was a clip I shared not too long ago where this lady, Fox News contributor, the lone Democratic voice on Outnumbered. Her name was Marie. I'm blanking on the last name, but she said, "Why is it that the man who threw a Subway sandwich at a armed guard or at law enforcement is arrested and charged for assaulting an officer, but the president pardons 1,500 or over 1,500 people that stormed the Capitol, that literally assaulted law enforcement officers and caused damage, and was also sending threats to your then sitting VP and Mike Pence? Like, it ain't mathing, y'all. The math ain't mathing. All I'm saying is the hypocrisy is on an all-time high. It is on an all-time high. We as Americans, we as people, we have to read between the lines. We have to keep our elected officials accountable. We do, y'all. We really do. We have to stop letting elected officials create these distractions. We have to stop letting these folks create these distractions and still keep pressing them. Keep talking about the Epstein list. Keep talking about the issues happening in Washington with this crime, with this this crackdown on crime. Let's talk about it. Keep pressing. Keep bringing up January 6th. Keep bringing it up. We cannot bring up the government cuts. Bring up the job cuts and funding cuts. Bring that up, y'all. Bring up the fact that inflation is hitting. The stock markets are plummeting. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, y'all. Look, we're going to head to a commercial break. I'm not going to keep on ranting for y'all. Got to take a quick breather. Don't go anywhere, though. We'll be back. We have a lot more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back with these commercial breaks.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new Goldverse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing Goatverse TV.
Goatverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blend sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council. What is data?
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin show. Now check this out. So popular fitness instructor Jillian Michaels, we all remember her from the show The Biggest Loser. That's why I got to know Jillian Michaels. It was a weight loss competition show. She was one of the judges, the fitness instructors there, and coaches. She was a bit aggressive, but she garnered such a huge popularity from that show, and she's done other things besides that. She's now growing her own individual platform, podcasting. I think she works with Valuetainment, that's owned by Patrick Bet David, and she is leaning on that political realm now. Folks like Sage Steele, who else? Who else is going more on that conservative side? Well, we obviously see Will Kane. We see Marcus Wiley doing it. Whitlock, Jason Whitlock, so many others, and now you have Jillian Michaels being a part of that conglomerate of folks that are just trying to stay relevant. So they said, "Hey, look, what's the next big thing that a lot of folks are tuning into? Oh, politics. Yeah, let me go and do that." So she recently was on CNN, and she complains on CNN that the Smithsonian teaches just one race is responsible for U.S. slavery. Let me go ahead and share this soundbite, and then we'll talk on the other side because I'm looking at my time here. Let me go and share this soundbite for you, and then I'll read you this article.
Have you looked at some of the things that are being
slavery.
reviewed?
Yeah, slavery was a bad thing that was to talk about.
Okay,
like he's
not whitewashing slavery. So
he's not.
He's not. No.
Okay.
He's not. And you cannot tie imperialism and racism and slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does. But let's talk about the fact that when you look at slavery, let's talk about the fact that
slavery in America was.
Do you realize that only less than 2% of white Americans own slaves?
But it was a system of white supremacy.
You realize that slavery is thousands of years old?
White people.
Do you know who was the first race to try to end slavery? Well, what's controversial?
I'm very surprised that you're trying
to exercise in historical revisionism.
I'm really surprised.
Do you realize that,
Jillian, I'm surprised that you're trying to litigate who was the beneficiary of slavery and who was not.
What I'm trying to tell you is
in the context of American history. Okay. In the context of American history, what are you saying is incorrect by saying that it was white people oppressing black people?
Every single thing is like, oh no, this is all because white people bad, and that's just not the truth. Like, for example, every single exhibit, I have a list of every single one. Like, people migrated from Cuba because white people bad, not because of past. Yes, no, it's in there. That's what I'm saying. You don't actually know what's in there. Do you know that when you walk in the front door, the first thing you see is the gate? Have you looked at some of the things that are being reviewed?
Yeah, slavery was a bad.
Okay, so she would when you see a career that is slowly deteriorating, you see why. Now, I'm not saying she's going to get canceled for this. Most likely, she's probably going to get a raise for this. She's probably going to get promoted because, trust and believe, there's these far-right conservative platforms that loved what she did. But what she was doing, her argument, I couldn't even understand the argument. But in my opinion, her argument was that when we talk about racism, we act like it was only white people. Why are we always coming after white folks? That they were the first of all, and someone has said in U.S. history, the primary national or ethnicity, the primary race that when it came to segregation, who was the top of the pedestal of those who continue to be offensive to others? I'm sorry, but that was white folks. The KKK is one of the largest hate groups in the world, and it still exists to this day. Check out what was it? Was it Shades of America? I believe with Kamal Bell. Great docuseries, by the way. I remember his very first episode I watched when I was in college. This man toured the KKK compound in Arkansas. You're telling me that, oh, but really just less than 2% of she's saying every Smithsonian literally directs racism to one race. It's just silly. It's really silly, and it's insulting at the same time. The reason why I say it's because Jillian Michaels, and I've read her plot, adopted a Haitian child. She has a child of color, black child. So it's scary and it's sad because I'm like, okay, what are you teaching your child? Now, don't get me wrong, culture in Haiti is different from U.S. culture, but at the end of the day, you can't take away that girl's skin. You can't take away her appearance. You can't take away the fact that yes, racism still exists. It might not be as aggressive as it was during the civil rights era when Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks were, but it's still. And the sad part is, it's getting scarier because we have an administration that is avoiding it by removing banning books that speak on Black history. They are removing any form of when you bring up the conversation. Like, why does it always have to be about race? Why is it? Listen, y'all, listen. You have to bring up uncomfortable conversations. Black history is American history, and it should be taught in schools. In my opinion, that's what helps brings people together. When you hear about, look, this would happen back then, but we can overcome through this. But it's going to take time because you have folks that, especially older generation, that are still iffy and back off as this and that and the other. And then you have folks that are like saying, well, I don't want to talk about that one. We cannot talk about that. That was a part of our history. And you still have communities that want to relive that history. I spoke about it not too long ago here on the program. There's a group that wants to create a white-only neighborhood. It's already existing, but their goal is to have it in all 50 states. Why are you continuing to create and have all this division? But you cannot run away from facts. You cannot run away from Jillian, I don't know. She's just trying to look for her highlight moment, which, look, congratulations, you accomplished it, because I'm talking about it and the other platforms are. Literally, she made herself look like the biggest loser on cable television. She did. And we're not gonna forget that. Again, I don't know what she's doing right now. She's continued to try and grow a career in the political space, but me personally, I don't even know why CNN had her on. Again, she's known for being a fitness instructor. Why would you bring her opinion on CNN? But I'm gonna tell you this. Abby Phillips, she's a great journalist. I am not a fan of the format of what they're doing on CNN with this show. CNN is in a space where they are desperate for ratings. Okay, they are extremely desperate for ratings, and they know that the back and forth debates, that right there will bring high ratings. That brings high value and high ratings. So they're like, they have Abby just sit there, look pretty, ask a couple questions, and let everybody just tear each other to shreds. 4 people to be exact, 2 conservative, 2 liberals. Just tear each other to shreds. That's all you gotta do, Abby. That's all you gotta do. Bring up the topic, let them go ham. And it's a late night show. I think it starts at like 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you want folks to go to bed with that on their mind, and then they wake up, all hell breaks. Like, I don't like it. I personally do not like it at all. They start off with Newsnight simply just like any other platform where she's doing the one-on-one conversations. To me, that's more respectable, and she deserves that. But this whole format that they're doing, I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. I think it's quite disrespectful to her credibility. And on top of that, why the hell do you have Jillian Michaels on? Like, when you start bringing on guests like Jillian Michaels, like, I just don't get it. No experience, no resume of, oh, I did this, I did. No, I don't get it. And she literally tried. She tried to. She was not questioning. She was trying to explain it to a brother, a U.S. rep out of Texas. Out of New York, a New York Democrat, and Richie Torres. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it, y'all. But at the end of the day, we have got to do better. We have to keep these folks accountable. We got to keep just staying prayed up. That's all I can say, y'all. Stay prayed up. Y'all, that is my time. Y'all take care. Continue to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. Stay informed. Stay safe out there. It's a big election season this year. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm out. I'll talk to y'all next time for another good episode of the Arrington Gavin Show.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.